Hey, welcome back, guys. So, it is Monday. Why am I here? What's going on? Well, I'll tell you. We're going to be doing something that I plan on doing every week or every 2 weeks, depending on scheduling purposes. And it's going to be big picture takeaways and specific kind of stories and just takeaways from me from the last week of Overwatch League. So, yesterday we finished week number 2. Every team has played at least 2 matches. A lot of them have played 3 or 4. I believe the only 2 teams that have played only 2 are Washington and Paris. So, after the first 2 weeks of Overwatch League, what's going on? What's happening? So, I think in some ways, I'll kind of do like a where Glenn was right, where Glenn was wrong. So first of all, where Glenn was wrong, predictions wise, I've been treading 500 water for basically the whole season. Yeah, for the whole season. That's where I'm still at 500 right now, and it's been a little rough. But that's also kind of where I was right because in I believe my first video. And don't mind my trash plays in the background. I just wanted to give you guys a little something to watch. Um, so basically, I said there was going to be a lot of parity, especially towards the beginning of the league. I thought there's going to be a lot of teams that can beat a lot of other teams, and I think that's definitely proven to be true. I mean, we've seen Florida beat Philadelphia. We've seen Dallas beat Seoul and lose to Guangzhou. We've seen Paris beat LA Gladiators. We've seen the Spark beat the LA Valiant, and then go on to lose their next couple matches. So it's been a lot of back and forth, and I think that this continues, except for kind of the top. And this isn't really where I was right or where I was wrong. This is just in general. Vancouver, they look so legit, and we don't have obviously the biggest sample size. They've played 3 matches. They've won all 3 matches. Map differential +7. They did have a very tight match with Guangzhou. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. Guangzhou almost beat them, but they did pull it off, and then they did take down San Francisco 3-1, a team that a lot of people thought was one of the best. So I put Vancouver at 7 in my power rankings, and my thought process was I have no doubt that this team is going to be in the top 10. I have no doubt that this team is going to be very good. But because the skill level of their competition was in Overwatch League, it was tier 2 in the contender scene. I thought, okay, I can't put them in the top 5. I can't do it, at least not yet, because they, like I said, they haven't proven themselves at this level like other teams I put a little bit above them, like Philadelphia, like both of the LA teams. So I think that it's only been 3 matches, and I don't want to totally jump on a bandwagon and I don't want to totally make it seem like I'm really sucking them off. But just watching this team, you gotta know that they're legit. I mean, the proof's in the pudding. I mean, they're putting in the work. Right now, honestly, I think that in terms of just not even quite in this meta, but in terms of just like teams, I think I would probably slide Vancouver up to 3 in my power rankings. I just would. I think that besides London and New York, I just can't put anybody above them, and it would be a disservice to them if I did. And there's teams like Paris that are extremely good in this meta, but they will not be good in the future. So I think that that's one big takeaway. Vancouver is legit. They're more than legit. They're going to be one of the I don't want to say Titans. They're going to be one of the juggernauts at the top of the standings. So yeah, I think it's kind of those 3, and then after that, anything kind of goes. Atlanta's looked about as good as I had hoped. I had them pretty high in my power rankings. And yeah, I mean, DeFran, he's big thumbs up so far. Of course, we got to keep monitoring the situation. Apparently, he was like he almost quit like a week ago and had to talk to their team psychiatrist. So it's always going to be a work in progress with him. But I mean, the rest of their team, you got Pokpo playing absolutely phenomenal on main tank. Deco actually was pissing me off their last match. He kept initiating fights with self-destruct, and he wasn't getting kills with them at all. And I thought it was just a bad strategy. You don't throw, even if you have a good angle. What's the point of throwing in a Diva Bomb at the start of a fight in Goats? 99% of the time, you're not going to get a kill. And sometimes the enemy team will jump you and kill you and your baby diva. So then you've lost the team fight and wasted an ultimate. But he is still a very good diva. They look great. Like I said, those are the kind of the big things for me. It's like a couple of teams have really stood out. I don't think, honestly, any team has been like super disappointing. I mean, I would say the closest thing is the LA teams. I mean, Gladiators and Valiant finished second and fourth last year. Gladiators are 1-2. They looked very bad their last match, and the Valiant are 0-3. They've been close every match, but they cannot put it together. I mean, they're 0-3 -3 differential. They lost 3-2, 3-2, 2-1. So I think it's very disappointing for them. They need to try to figure out how to go above and beyond. And that kind of leads into my next thing is I think the main reason for the two LA teams' struggles, it's the Brigida. I look at Brigida. I don't think Hydration or Agilities like playing Brigida. I don't think they're very comfortable on Brigida, and I don't think they're good at Brigida. I think they're bad Brigida players as compared to the rest of the Overwatch League. Hydration just doesn't ever seem to do much. Agilities, in particular, seems like he dies a lot, like first. And you can't. I mean, you can't have that in Goats. That's the taboo. You can't go down first. It's all a chess. It's mostly a chess match of who's going to get a pick first. And usually, obviously the focus of that is the main tank. So when your Brigida is dying, you have major problems. And I think that's the reason why both these teams have kind of struggled out of the gate. Another example of that is Linkser on Houston. He looked pretty terrible on Brigida. Which is why the past couple matches they switched Jake onto Brigida. It worked against the Spark, did not work against the Excel. They got rolled. But I think that's kind of where we're at right now. All the expansion teams are super inconsistent. Hanjo had a great first week, 2-0. Second week, 0-2. And I mean, it's the same thing with Guangzhou. They lost to the Hunters, then they crushed Dallas, then they put up a good fight against Vancouver. Boston looked pretty strong, but then since they lost Fusions because he has a two-way contract, so they couldn't play him anymore. Without him, they look absolutely lost. That's why congrats to the Shanghai Dragons. They got their first win. They will be a very formidable team once they really start to get that energy flowing with Gamsu. Again, I'm going to keep saying this until I'm blue in the face and until you guys are tired of hearing it. What the hell was Boston thinking when they let him go? I don't understand it. It's perplexing, to say the least. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel about the expansion teams. Overall, I think they played a little bit better than expected. I mean, like, Washington 0-2. I think they're going to lose a lot more games, too, because they're playing very good teams. It's kind of expected, but, like, Vancouver, they look amazing. Toronto has looked very solid. They're 2-1. So far, they've proven me wrong. Paris, they're 2-0. They look very, very comfortable in this meta. And I mean, Chengdu's 2-1. They're barely playing Goats, and they're 2-1. Chengdu is the hero that we need. Like he's the hero that Overwatch. This team is the hero that Overwatch needs. I've loved seeing all their crazy strategies, and Ameng is the best Hammond I've ever seen, without a doubt. The plays he makes are absolutely nutty. So, I mean, I think the 2-1 start is a fluke for Chengdu, but it's still great to see them playing their crazy comps. Like it's like Guangzhou 1-2. I thought they had a bad first match, but their second and third matches they looked really good. They should be a team that's right in the mix of it. And then the Spark, like I said, great week 1, terrible week 2, inconsistencies all around. Atlanta, they've been a little inconsistent in matches, but overall they've been really solid. They're 2-1. So that kind of, I feel like that's a really good way of just encompassing the expansion teams. And then in a lot of ways for the returning teams, the teams that, and I'll discount like Fuel from this, I'll discount Florida from this, discount Shanghai, and Boston because they're way, maybe San Francisco too a little bit. They're way different than they were last year. You could probably even put Seoul in this category. But I think in a lot of ways, the teams that maintain the most of their roster, we're seeing the same stuff from them. I mean, New York still looks like the best team. The Spitfires still look very inconsistent, but they still have the highest potential in the league. Um, the Philadelphia Fusion, they look as inconsistent as they ever have been. They are a team that lives and dies with Carpe. They're a team that plays down to the level of their competition consistently. They went to 2 Map 5s against Shanghai last year. They lost to the Florida Mayhem, who looked awful in their first match. Yeah, they are who they are. The Gladiators are a good team, but at times they lose their confidence, they lose their aggression, and it costs them. And the Valiant are still a very good team, but they can't quite take the next step. A lot of these teams are what they are. And I think, unfortunately, again, it's early, but I think there's a cap to the Valiant right now, especially in this meta. And I think it's the same with the Gladiators. I think they're still very good, but I don't think that they can be. I just don't see their ceiling beating New York and Spitfire, and that's the one thing. It's like tons of parity, number 4 through number 20. Maybe 4 through 19. We'll see what Washington does, but I just don't see people touching the top 3, and it's a little scary. I hope it's not. I hope some of these teams do bust in, kind of like Philadelphia did last year. But when it really counts, who's gonna beat London? I just don't know. New York, no one's gonna beat them in the regular season consistently. They went 34-6 last year. This year they'll probably go 25-3, 23-5 at worst, I assume. They'll lose a couple games here and there, but they're going to be consistently the best team. And I think Vancouver is already in that direction. We've seen it in their matches. At the desk when they were previewing the Vancouver versus San Fran matchup yesterday, it's like the big epic clash of these two teams. There was a lot of back and forth. Bren picked San Francisco. He said they were going to win 4-0. I like Bren. He's an entertaining dude. I think he does know his stuff. But what the hell were you thinking? I mean, come on. When I was predicting this, I remember the video, I was like, it should be pretty close, but I like Vancouver. And Vancouver won more handily than I thought they would. It's the same problem for me with San Francisco. I don't trust Super. I don't trust Smurf on Reinhardt. Clearly, San Francisco doesn't trust him on Reinhardt. Otherwise, he'd be playing over Super. And I don't trust Sinatra, and who got 80% of his grabs eaten. Sinatra. San Francisco, very good team, but there's a reason I put them at 8, and I think that so far that's been proven to be pretty accurate. They were able to crush Dallas, but when they had to face off some big dogs, Gladiators, Titans, they couldn't get it done. Man, other than that, those are pretty much the topics I wanted to touch on. Again, it's 2 weeks in. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. Obviously, I'm batting 500 on my predictions. Obviously, I don't know that much. Otherwise, I'd be getting more of these right. But I've watched almost every match so far, and the ones that obviously I can't watch them all live because I have stuff to do, I have responsibilities. But I do a lot of times go back and watch the ones that I missed when I have free time. And yeah, we'll see. It's been very interesting. There will be a time when GOATS is not meta, and I think it's going to shake things up a lot for about half of the teams, and we'll see. I think that the first two stages are going to be the most important, and by the end of stage two, we're going to see, because right now technically everybody is still a contender. Um, but we're going to see which expansion teams can be more consistent and which ones can't be, because the ones that aren't consistent, they are going to pay. They're going to pay for it, and some of these teams that like are people consider like around 10ish, they could legitimately be 17 or 18 just because of a rough stretch. Um, there isn't. I just don't. Washington is the closest that we have, and I just still don't see it. I just don't think there's a team that. Last year in Overwatch League, we had Florida and we had Shanghai. Those were your free wins. I was looking at the Gladiator schedule because I'm a Gladiator fan, and I'm just like, I'm looking at the schedule. I'm like, oh man, those are tough. Those are tough. Those are tough. Those are tough. And then I think I got to like stage two, week 2 or 3, and I saw like, shoot, who was it? I think it was Florida and Chengdu, and I was like, okay, they should win those. But all the other ones, I'm like, they could win this, but they could also lose this. So I think that that's where a lot of the teams are. If you're a fan of not the Excelsior or the Titans, you're going to be sweating in the regular season, because these teams are packed tight together, and it is very interesting for me. The one last thing I would say, this isn't about the teams as much as the general environment of Overwatch altogether. Can we as a community lay off of GOATs for a little bit? Like, we know that it's not the most exciting comp to watch. I understand that. Like I said, I feel the same way. I will be very happy when the new meta kind of appears, but this is what we have for this stage, okay? You're going to see Chengdu running crazy stuff. You're going to see weird, wacky triple DPS and sometimes quad DPS on certain points of certain maps, but more often than not, we're going to see GOATs, okay? So, if you cannot deal with that, then don't watch. But I'm just tired of seeing, and this is why I don't watch on Twitch anymore, because I can't deal with the chat. I'm just tired of seeing everybody complain about GOATs. Shroud came out on a stream because he made a tweet like making fun of Overwatch League. Michael from The Office doing the scrunched up cringe face. And when he was asked about it, because like a lot of people went after him on Twitter, and then he was asked about it on stream, and he's like, I think Overwatch is a great game, but the comp is boring to watch. Please. Shroud, alright, Shroud doesn't know shit about Overwatch. Let me just say, Shroud does not know bullshit about the game of Overwatch, okay? He's barely played it. He said that. Like, he said that after. He's like, I don't know much about the game, but like, I think it could be a great game. It's just this meta is so boring to watch. And it's like, okay, you've been watching the stream and just looking at all the plat chat boys going off. So that is one thing that has just annoyed me so hard, and I know me saying this isn't gonna do anything. If anything, it'll piss some people off, but just, you know what it is. This is the meta right now. GOATS is the meta. Hopefully, it will not be meta past stage 1. Hopefully, we don't know. But hopefully it will not be. But until changes are made and it develops, this is what we have. So don't watch and then complain about it. Watch or don't watch. Okay? It's just ridiculous. And those are the kind of things that piss me off. It's like if you're standing outside and you see a store, and the store is like trains galore, and you hate trains. And you look at the store and you're like, okay, this place is all about trains. You walk in and you go, ugh, I hate this place, and then you leave. I hate trains. You knew that going in. Know yourself, make your decision, but don't go in chat and watch Overwatch League and complain about it the whole time. because you're not doing anybody any favors. You're just bringing down the room. You're being a wet rag. You're having a non-enjoyable time for others and for yourself. So don't do that. Spare yourself the trouble. Watch if you want to. If you do, that's awesome. It's fantastic. But if you don't, I understand. And stay tuned for more. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you think about this. It's just kind of me rambling, like you have just witnessed, about the events of the last couple weeks, the big takeaways, what I think. Let me know what you think. If you disagree with certain points, if you think I'm jumping to conclusions too fast based on small sample sizes, yeah, let me know what you think about anything Overwatch later, really. What do you think about the meta? What do you think about the new hero rumors? What you think could fix this GOAT's meta? I'm very curious to know what people have to say, as long as it's thought out and portrayed in a respectful way, of course. Nobody wants to be the people that just go at it on the internet and say just dumb shit to somebody you're never going to see. Don't be like that. Make it constructive. Bring it into discussion. That's really what I want to do here. I want to make dialogue between people. Maybe meet new people. That'd be awesome. Make some new friends. Make some new enemies. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. It's the roundup of weeks number 1 and 2 of Overwatch League. Let me know what you think about these videos. Like I said, thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a absolutely fantastic couple days, and I'll see you in the next one.